Welcome to another new episode of the False Summit podcast. This episode we have a special guest, Rob Bichan, the most youthful coach on the roster, and someone who believes that the Hobbit movies are on par with the Lord of the Rings movies. But we're going to gloss over that for just now. And welcome to the microphone, Rob.
Hello. How are you?
So, Rob Bichan, for folk that don't know you, how old are you and where are you from?
I'm 21, from Findhorn. Have a little, well, I'm not exactly right in Findhorn. I have a little farm outside Findhorn.
It's pretty,
I may have
idyllic.
just exposed my location on the internet.
There's probably a few farms.
Yeah, there's quite a few actually. Yeah, there's loads,
you've not narrowed it down too much. So we were looking this morning before we were recording this, and just over 4 years ago, beginning of February 2021, we did our second ever podcast and our first podcast with a guest with your brother, Johnny.
Yeah.
He was actually just dropping in yesterday to do Helen.
He was for the first time. Well, first time he's been to the new gym.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Johnny was one of our first coaches. He's now down in East Kilbride coaching and doing a lot of training. In fact, this year, 2025, he was 85th in the world for the semi-final stage. And before that, he was 16th in the UK for the Open. So he's pretty fit.
Yeah,
somewhat.
Pretty fit. Yeah, someone said to me the other day, actually, they said, this is what you're doing this weekend. And I was like, oh, my brother's coming home. And they said, oh, really? Well, that's cool. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try and get him to drop into one of the classes. And they said, oh, is that so you can show him up? And I went, no. Absolutely not. I will not be showing him up.
I remember you like, I think one of the first time I met you guys, you all came in to do, and it was an open workout.
It was
at the very first place.
20.3
Yep.
burpee, or maybe 20.1 burpees and clean and jerk.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
So I remember coming in and being like, I don't know, I must have been one of the first ones to use the brand new Rogue barbell, and I was so psyched. It's the first time I ever used a brand new barbell. Or a brand new Rogue one anyway.
So out of you and your brother, who got started in CrossFit first?
So Johnny actually started first. Yeah, well, he was always, well, not always, but he got into fitness, like kind of bodybuilding kind of stuff. And before, like, when he was like 14 or something, maybe younger. And I was playing loads of tennis and football at the time. And I thought, oh, I'll do some like working out as well. And I just hated it. It was just crap, doing like 3 sets of everything. And just being in pain on my bedroom floor doing crunches and stuff. So I kind of just stopped the working out and just kept playing tennis and football and stuff. And then he came up, and I think it was summer of 2016. He was like, oh, look at this new thing. It's like called CrossFit. So I was like, okay. So I gave it a couple watches and stuff, and we started watching loads of the YouTube. And I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. This is like turning fitness into something that I can be competitive in, and that's actually more than just being in pain. And so I started doing that with him, just kind of like on the farm in different commercial gyms, just kind of testing things out. And then Johnny went to his first class at CrossFit 57 North in Inverness, and then I went a couple months later, and then started doing more CrossFit than tennis because it was on at the same time as my tennis training, and then ended up just kind of stopping everything and going all CrossFit.
So were you pretty competitive in tennis? Was that something you were?
Yeah, reasonably. Yeah, I was like I wasn't a high level, but I was like competing nationally. I was like going across the country to compete, as in Scotland, not the UK, but
yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. Yeah,
nice.
Played a lot. My mum spent enough money for me to be half decent.
I feel like that's one of those sports where it's like, from what I've experienced of like tennis parents, it's that's a thing.
It's quite a big commitment. Yeah, for parents for sure.
I feel like there's potentially a lot of money at the end of the rainbow, but making it to the end of the rainbow is
it's even worse with football. My football career ended quite prematurely.
Yeah.
When I was 12.
Didn't make it very far then. No.
Didn't make it very far. And I made it reasonably far.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the Ross County Academy.
Oh, nice.
So it wasn't too bad. I cling on to that. I don't let it go.
So you've been like quite competitive in multiple sports before you ever found CrossFit, and then was the competition side of CrossFit the thing that really attracted to you?
To start off with, because we watched the 2015 CrossFit Games.
Was that the one with all the yellow outfits?
That was like there was yellow and there was blue and orange.
Yeah, I had those bright yellow shoes.
Yeah, and there was also pink and orange, or purple and orange. Yeah.
So much colour back in the day.
I know, right? I know. That's why I liked it this year. There's a lot more colour back. Yeah.
No Bullet was just all emo clothes.
Yeah, just emo. Yeah.
So there was a point where you were one of the fittest teens in the UK, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think I was maybe like 5th in terms of the Open.
Yeah.
In the I think that was the 14-15. So that was the 2019 Open. That was actually the Open that was in 2019, but was actually the 2019 Open, not the 2020 Open. And that was I can't remember what place came in the Open, but back then you did the age group online qualifiers, and I can't remember who qualified for the online qualifiers, but I think it was top 200 in the world maybe, and I came 112th when I was 15 so I was in the older part of the 14-15.
Yeah.
So yeah,
got pretty damn good at it pretty fast.
Yeah. I cling on to that as well. Yeah. That was my peak.
So would you say at that stage you were like, were you, in relation to Johnny, do you think you were like pushing him a bit there?
I like to think I was ahead of his curve.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like to think if I carried on in the same trajectory, I'd be fair. Yeah.
So I suppose this is the point where we reach like what changed that trajectory for you?
Yeah, so in 2020, January 2020, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. So it was called DIPG then, but now it's called DMG, which is a diffuse midline glioma. So it's a brain tumor in my brainstem, and because it's intrinsic, it's like growing around it but also through it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So then from there, everything kind of went shit. Along with COVID at the same time, which wasn't very ideal.
Yeah. When I was writing the notes for this, I said when shit hit the fan, and Elliot was like, no, you can't say it like that.
Yeah, shit hit the fan,
It sounds like that.
Yeah, shit hit the fan pretty badly. It was it started off with kind of just getting annoyed with headaches stopping me from training. Those are the only symptoms I had. Mm-hmm. When I say headaches, they weren't just like regular headaches. I mean, they were. I had no idea at the time. I didn't even think anything of it. But think back, like blinding headaches aren't really a normal kind of thing to have. So I started off with that. I went to doctors, and luckily, I mean, it doesn't always happen, but luckily the doctor was kind of just was pretty quick about it and just kind of got me an MRI, which again I didn't think anything of, but that's kind of a red flag, getting an MRI that fast. So yeah, 27th of January 2020 I was diagnosed. Then it was a long decision over whether I should get a biopsy or not, because it was originally diagnosed as a grade 4 tumor, which is like, I mean, I might be kind of slightly wrong with this, but stages in other cancers can progress, but grades sort of stay as what they originally are.
Okay.
That's what I remember anyway from the time.
Yeah.
So grade 4 is like really, really bad. So they said they started off with telling me I had 9 to 12 months to live, and if radiotherapy went well, then 2 years, 24 months. So
how did it feel for you at that point? Like, you've gone from getting some headaches while training to now
I know, it was crazy. It was just crazy. Yeah, it was so surreal. I mean, that doesn't really begin to describe it being surreal, but it was it just felt so like not real, because it was just, I mean, like the day before, or the Saturday before, it was Monday, and on Saturday I was doing a qualifier, like just all out, like full on working out, doing a qualifier for a competition, and then and then it was like, how can this even, I mean, I felt fine.
Yeah.
I genuinely, other than the headaches, I really felt fine. So because he said it was grade 4, but based off my physical appearance and my ability to still do what I was doing, they were kind of like, it's not really, the scan's not matching up with what you are like physically presenting.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to get a biopsy. So just like getting a sample of the tumor to see if it's actually what the scan's reading.
Yeah.
And so that took quite a while, because it was kind of like, well, the side effects of having the biopsy was like, I could be paralyzed, I could be blinded, all this kind of stuff, I could die. And I was kind of like, well, I mean, if it's looking bad, I don't want to be like even more fucked up from it. So I didn't really want to at the time, but then had some other scans like MRPs, an MRP and an MRS or something like that, which measured, I can't honestly, it was so far ago, it feels like a blur. It was one that was measuring blood flow, I think.
So what was the, getting the biopsy, was that to further diagnose what was going on?
So
and to
after I had those other tests, they were like, okay, it's even more sort of showing that it's not what the scan shows. So then I got the biopsy eventually, and that showed a grade 2. But the way they work, it could be grade 2 on one bit, but not necessarily grade 2 the whole way through.
Right, okay.
But that was more promising, because grade 2 is obviously not as bad as grade 4.
Yeah.
So, and then my biopsy really fucked me up, because I had, am I allowed to swear, by the way?
I mean, you are, so
okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that really messed me up, because I lost all the feeling in my left side.
Wow.
So I had to learn to walk again in the hospital.
And that was from the biopsy then?
Yeah, that was totally from the biopsy.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then I don't really know how it works, but because headaches were the only symptoms I had, but the biopsy like gave me other symptoms I should have had. So double vision was one of them.
Right. Okay.
So I had to wear, all my friends don't remember, but I had an eye patch at the time, or I had glasses with one fuzzy lens. So I had to wear that for a while. I'd like, it would get to walking again.
So was I suppose like from what you're saying there, some of the worst symptoms were actually because of the processes that you had to go through to kind of work out what was going on there.
Much,
so what did the biopsy lead to? Did that lead to them being able to like further diagnose and be able to treat things, or?
Well, that led to knowing that I wouldn't be able to get chemotherapy.
Oh, right.
Because, again, I feel like I should know more, but sometimes it's kind of better to not know as much. So my mutation, I think, wouldn't react with the chemotherapy, because each tumor has a different type of mutation, and mine wouldn't react with the chemotherapy, so that would be pointless in having.
Yep.
So all I could have was radiotherapy. So from there, then I had radiotherapy, and it was 5 days a week for 6 weeks in Aberdeen.
I remember, I remember chatting to your mum at the time, and she was traveling.
Because the second week, the first week we went there and back every day, so it's 2 hours there, 2 hours back for us.
Yeah.
And then the second week, COVID, like lockdown, just like complete lockdown happened. So then we did every day there and back for 6 weeks.
Wow.
Which was pretty savage, and like no stopping. Like we couldn't even like stop and get McDonald's or whatever. Or like it was literally just bomb it to Aberdeen, run from the car into the hospital, run back.
And were you like at elevated risk at that point?
We thought, well,
who knows?
Who knows? Like that's what we thought. I mean, the real risk was actually getting COVID and then not being able to have my radiotherapy. That was probably more the risk than actually getting COVID and being ill. So
from there, like what's the process been like, going from that stage there where you're, you've had the biopsy, you're learning to walk again, the vision issues, to getting radiotherapy, to now like you're thrown down in the gym? It feels like such a big gap between those 2 points.
Huge.
Like we're like 4 years later, and you're back to throwing down in the gym. Like how's that process been for you getting back into training?
Well, it was pretty rough, because it got worse after my radiotherapy, having steroids, like anti-inflammatory steroids, So I put on 25 kilos in 5 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I went from being 75 kilos as a 16-year-old to then being 100 kilos. Yeah, I mean, that's why I got really bad stretch marks and stuff. If people have seen my stretch marks still, that's why. So that was horrendous. I mean, lockdown was pretty dark, and I'm glad my partner Jodie stayed with us all through lockdown when we were so young. That was pretty incredible.
Like as an aside, I've always thought that was such an amazing thing that you guys were like a teenage couple, and then this happens, and you guys survived that as a couple, which I think is like so fucking cool.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah, it's pretty special. So I mean, I can credit a lot of my sanity to Jodie. So getting through that together and with my family all being so close, after lockdown we finished our last year at school, which was also quite good, feeling a little bit normal. I suppose being ill on my steroids all through lockdown was not terrible timing. It was probably quite good timing because it meant that I wasn't missing out on anything. Like, Jordy wasn't going to parties with all our friends. My friends weren't going to parties and everything. Like, we were all kind of missing out on everything together.
Yeah, I suppose.
Which I suppose it was relatively good timing. But I mean, it would have been better in a lot of other ways, obviously. But I kind of, my attitude to CrossFit and training was that it helped me so much in terms of being fit enough going into hospital for my operation, recovering from my biopsy. The physios in the hospitals were just so shocked that I was able to gain my ability to walk and move so quickly again, just from my body awareness, and like my the control I had over my body, and I knew how to move, basically, and just simply knew how to move. So they were shocked that I was able to get out of hospital so fast. Like, the test was to be able to walk downstairs and walk back upstairs, even though we have no stairs in our house, but that was still a test. So my fitness set me up so well for my operation, and then it set me up so well for my steroids, being on my steroids, because I gained so much weight. I also lost all muscle mass. I was super no muscle, but just all water retention and fat. I still don't know exactly how I put on so much fat, but I think it's because it goes to all the fat, or all the fat you put on, it goes to all one area. So it goes around your stomach, your hips, and your face and your neck and stuff. So I think that's probably why I managed to put on so much. Like, the rest of me is pretty lean still, but my belly's like not shredded. So
you got that early dad bod going on.
Yeah, I know. Cheers, Rui. Cheers. I'm working on it.
It happens to all of us at some point in our life. He's got it out of the way.
So I always think that if I wasn't so fit and so lean and healthy, then I wouldn't I would have really like struggled extra with my medication. Even when I went into hospital, I had the little heart rate clip on my finger, and so I was lying in bed, and the nurses were running over to my mom being like, what's wrong with his pulse? Like, why? It's not picking up or anything. Like, the heart rate reader was set from in a certain range, and my resting heart rate was so low that it was not even getting picked up.
So it's a strong flex in the hospital.
So I was like, yeah, it was great. It was like 30s, like low 30s or something. So just being fit enough to let my body deal with all that was huge. So I thought, when I was coming off my steroids, it took weeks to wean down slowly from the max dose, with dexamethasone it was. I thought, like, I was so fit and so ready before like I've got to get back to that. I've got to get fit and healthy again, so my body is able to really cope. But not only that, just so I can live the life I want to live. I mean, my biggest passions are all like to do with fitness and stuff. So fitness and physical activities. It was kind of a no-brainer, and I enjoy CrossFit so much. Like, why would I not want to keep going and getting better?
It's interesting hearing you chat about that, because I feel like it's one of the big areas of training that I think that people, I don't maybe misinterpret. Like, I think we often say about like being fit, when you go in, like if you go into hospital with higher muscle mass, the outcomes are always better. And I think that maybe oversimplifies it and down to just like, you know, you're going to lose less muscle mass, you're going to come out stronger. But, you know, some of the qualities you learn from athletic movement, and by that I mean like gymnastics and weightlifting, where you're really so focused on coordination
Absolutely.
and being able to control your body and understanding where your body is in space, that you learn from gymnastics is massive. And like what you're saying there, like that physio recovery from you know, you having to relearn to walk, that you've trained your ability to move your body so much that it's not just about the physical, the motor units of the muscle being able to create the work to do it. It's also that you've trained your central nervous system and your brain to be able to make that movement happen, but also understand how to remake it happen.
Absolutely. Like the neural pathways and that are all there. So it's not just the physical attributes gained from training and doing CrossFit. It's I mean, they talk about like the 10 words of fitness. 10 words, is it fitness? 10 words of fitness, right?
It's the 10 general physical skills.
10 general physical skills, that's the one.
You're thinking 100 words of fitness.
I'm
thinking
100 words as well. Fitness. So the 10 general physical skills. You have coordination, accuracy, agility. I mean, they're all like seriously important things that people don't really think about. It's kind of like,
they're not big and sexy.
No, not at all. I mean, people outside of CrossFit or the gym, whatever, think, oh, you're skipping, and it's like, that's a huge skill to be able to do something like skipping.
Ask Josh.
Ask Josh. Shout
out to Josh. He got some big old sets of double unders the other day.
Big old sets of 10, I think.
It's a big jump. He'll appreciate that shout. But no, it's true. Like
absolutely. I remember trying to learn double unders. It was the most infuriating thing ever. I mean, everyone in CrossFit will know that. Just something that you think, oh, you watch people do it in the playground when you're a kid. Like, it's not something, like, it's a skill that you forget or you have never known. You have to learn it and practice it.
Did you feel like you had that? I suppose, like, when you first started CrossFit, you were like a young, athletic, competitive teenager. Do you feel like you had a quicker learning curve then, or relearning and trying to relearn some of those skills, or trying to get back to the skills and retrain them?
Definitely. Probably relearning. Practicing again after I was ill, or after I was on medication and stuff. It all came back like pretty fast.
Oh, that's cool.
Probably detrimentally in some ways, if that was a word, detrimentally. In some ways, because I had lost so much of my baseline strength, but I still had all the skills, so I was still able to do muscle ups and squat snatches or whatever, but my baseline general strength wasn't there.
Your skills were writing checks your body couldn't cash.
Pretty much. And it took me a long, I mean, I still go way too hard in workouts and be like, why am I not able to do this? It's like, well, I'm not that fit anymore. Like, I still think I'm relatively fit, but it's not quite the same. It's not the same as what I used to be. Like, it's still.
Is that something that, because I get the sense that you are very good, like, psychologically, about being able to deal with the fact that your fitness isn't what it was necessarily, but you're very good at being able to sort of take those moments and just deal with them really well internally. But do you feel like that's still something you kind of like butt your head up against every now and again, or does it feel like it's you just can?
Yeah, I think maybe I've come to terms with that. I mean, I always say like everything happens for a reason. I like to think for lots of different things, everything's happened for a reason. But I would say I've probably come to terms with the fact that I won't ever be as fit as I maybe could have been, or maybe should have been, or whatever you want to say. But what I do find frustrating is like not being able to recover. I mean, very rarely I'll be able to do everything I want to do in a week in terms of training. I get injured quite often, if you know me, and it's usually just from stupid things. I'm like, usually I get injured at work, or I just get little strains, and I get lots of different pains. I think like my body is just quite fragile. I get ill quite a lot. My immune system is pretty shot. So I think that's what I get most frustrated with, is not being able to just go as hard as I want to go, as much as I want to go.
Yeah.
That's probably the most frustrating thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's probably what I still struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So through this whole process, and you've been involved in like organizations like Battle Cancer, and some of the cool, I suppose, like experiences you've ended up in through that. Like you were away in CrossFit Mayhem. You're wearing the t-shirt today and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Tell us a little bit more about that experience.
Yeah, so Jody and I, we were lucky enough to do quite a bit of work with Battle Cancer in 2022 and 2023, and we ran some events in America with them, and we were in CrossFit Peak 360 in Miami for a week, Noah Olson's gym, real OG, and we were in CrossFit Skyline in Houston, and then for a week, and then at CrossFit Mayhem for a week in Cookeville, Tennessee. So I still have some really good friends from that trip, from Miami, from Cookeville. Then back in 2023, we went to the CrossFit Games when it was in Madison, in Wisconsin. That was another incredible week. Still got some lifelong friends. And to me, Battle Cancer was a great way of seeing cancer in a different way. Like, not just being in a situation where cancer is sad and you talk about it and it's all depressing, it's kind of like life ending. It was all like meeting other people with different stories and experiences, all thrown down together, being able to celebrate the fact that we can all work out together, even though many of us had been through that experience. Meeting people that you knew that they knew how you were feeling, how you'd felt, but not having to talk about it, just kind of having that general mutual feeling, and being able to do something positive about it, raising money, and just in general, it's pretty cool experiences going to CrossFit Games, going to CrossFit Mayhem, and what I'd spent the past 10 years watching on YouTube, just like meeting my idols of CrossFit, of sport in general. It's pretty special trips.
Yeah, it must be pretty amazing. I feel like I always remember like both you and Johnny or like big CrossFit Mayhem stands.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember like we're like as nerdy as it gets about CrossFit. Yeah, and we still are. Just what we watch and consume every piece of CrossFit content possible from every single outlet. And Mayhem was always a huge influence right from the start of our sort of CrossFit lives. Pretty much because of Rich Froning, just because he was he is the GOAT, let's face it. But at the time, he was only just retired from individual competitions, so that was a huge part of why we started watching Mayhem. And then from there, just how they really withhold the CrossFit methodology and their values it's just very admirable and incredible. And when getting to go there and realizing it's actually probably better than it looks is
cool.
extremely cool. Yeah, I
So
was very
meet
worried.
your heroes.
Yeah, exactly. I was very worried, not worried, but I was apprehensive to be like, is it actually going to be as incredible as it looks? Like, is it just going to be a big gym full of all the brand new equipment but just some big athletes? But no, it was about as community based and CrossFit as it gets. There was everybody in every class. I mean, we've done classes with games athletes and like grannies in the same class, with the kids class over in the corner, and then some like Rich Froning working out in the other corner. Just incredible place, incredible community. I mean, some of the nicest people I've ever met at CrossFit Mayhem. So it was amazing to see. It was like a perfect example of what CrossFit's all about. Not just the competitive side, but the true methodology of finding a cure.
That's interesting, because I feel like your starting point in CrossFit was definitely the competitive side, and I think like for so many of us that found CrossFit in the 2000s and the 2010s, like the CrossFit Games was this shining beacon of like, oh, this looks cool. I want to see what this is about. Yeah. And then like through that process, you start to find the methodology, and certainly from my perspective, got really like quite early got involved in coaching because I was really intrigued by that. And I suppose from your perspective, like now you've been involved with CrossFit for a long time, and now you're coaching here at CrossFit Cairngorm, which is, we're so happy to have you on the team. I think it's so cool. But how has your process of going from competitive athlete and then having some forced time off from CrossFit and then coming back to training and then now coaching, how has that evolved your understanding of you and your relationship with CrossFit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably just experiencing the power firsthand of being that fit, and how it actually relates to not just competing, how it really relates to your quality of life and your survival, really. I think that was a huge thing. And then also, I still want to compete as much as I can because I love being competitive and the feeling of competing. But I have a huge vested interest in actually making sure that everybody is as fit and healthy as they can, so they can enjoy life as much as they can. And I think I always understood the health side of CrossFit. I always watched a lot of videos that weren't just competing as well. I watched a lot of videos that were stories of different people, and how CrossFit's impacted their lives, which I always found very inspirational. And now I think that I slowly realized I was like, I want to just be able to give as much of my knowledge of CrossFit to as many people as I can, and hope that CrossFit can impact as many people's lives in the best way, like it has impacted my own. And I think that basically, I mean, it's just I've just experienced the experience I've had. I just want it to, as many other people to have it as well.
It's pretty cool, I suppose, like, just there hearing you kind of chat about that, and then chatting about Rich, like Rich Froning. I feel like he's like a guy from a farm, essentially, who was pretty athletic in some sports.
So you're meaning like I'm kind of like the Scottish Rich Froning?
I did not say that. If Johnny asked, I did not say that. But there's there's the values that come with that, and then there's the experience of being a competitive athlete at a young age, and then bringing that into CrossFit, and then I suppose Rich has become like quite a strong champion of like the values within CrossFit and the methodology, and he's not competitive in the same way that he used to be, but he's still doing the same thing, and he's getting himself out there and doing challenges. Like you recently did your half marathon, which is pretty damn awesome.
Half marathon the weekend,
like 4 years on from your diagnosis, you're now doing a half marathon, which is
pretty special. Yeah,
that should be that must feel pretty good.
I know. I sometimes I do get quite caught up in being like, I get very caught up in just sort of thinking, oh, I should be doing this, I should be getting better at that. Like, I get very caught up in my training and what I shouldn't be doing. And sometimes I kind of just have to remind myself, look, like from an outside point of view, not to be cocky or anything, but just kind of have to remind myself, like, I'm actually doing pretty well. Like, I don't need to worry too much about like pushing myself to extremes, and I need to be like sometimes a little less hard on myself, and just realize, like remember how far I've come. It's really easy to do so. So yeah, sometimes even though my half marathon's only on Saturday, I'm like, oh yeah, I've done a half marathon, I need to do the full marathon now. But I'm like, I need to just let that sink in. That's a huge achievement for me.
It's massive, man.
So I need to just sometimes just enjoy it and just realize that, like how far I've come.
It must be really enjoyable, like seeing what your body is capable of now, and thinking back to
absolutely
trying to get to the stage where you could go down and up some stairs to get out of hospital.
I definitely feel I want to do as much as I can to inspire as many people as I can. I mean, I've had lots of people say how seeing my stuff on Instagram, wherever, just seeing what I'm able to do, how that's helped them or inspired them, and I find that hugely motivating. I mean, I've been given this, and I believe in some ways that I've been given this disease so because I'm someone that maybe I'm someone that can take it, and I can turn it into something good, and create some inspiration for other people out of it, and go with it rather than letting it just sort of crush me and stop me.
Dude, it's a really great way of hearing you like reframe that whole experience.
Yeah.
And I think, like, if anyone's listening and they feel like they're going through something difficult, and they feel just the power of what Rob's just said there about reframing what could otherwise be a completely like debilitating, like, mentally process, you've turned that into something that's actually like your kind of your cause in some ways now.
Yeah.
Something that's pushing you.
I definitely think that I feel like I want to be able to not like waste this opportunity of being able to prove and show what the human body is capable of through such adversity, and I want to be able to do as much as I can in this situation, to help as many people in whatever way. I mean, you don't have to be ill or whatever to maybe be inspired or whatever.
Dude, it's I think there's a lot of people that can take a lot from that.
I hope. Yeah. I hope people can take something good from the struggles I've been through. If I can turn my struggles into something good for someone else, then that's best case scenario.
I think that's a good point to finish up on there. What we're going to do though is, for whenever it was when we interviewed Johnny years ago, we asked him at the end a couple of questions. We're going to ask you the same ones, see what you come out with.
Okay.
So tell me 3 things that you've discovered that make a big difference to your health and fitness.
Food. Eating clean food. Not necessarily. So I talk a lot about food. If anyone, people know me, I talk a lot about food. So for me, the big thing for my food is eating enough protein and eating real foods. Otherwise, I feel terrible. Everything goes downhill. Mentally, I feel terrible. Physically, I feel terrible. So eating well is my main thing, and exercising. They're probably on par. Exercising and eating. I mean, basically just doing CrossFit, pretty much. I mean, I say to everyone, they say, what should I do for working out? And I'm like, just do CrossFit. Like,
keep it simple.
If you do CrossFit, you're just getting the best of everything. And if you have somewhere like this, if you have somewhere like CrossFit Cairngorm, it's honestly as good as it gets. So for me personally, having good relationships, I find that very powerful. And then you said 3 things that make the biggest difference to your physical.
Yeah, your health and fitness. I think you've given me 3 good ones there, I'd say.
And then I think managing stress for me personally, be it well, when I say stress, I mean just kind of like being able to switch off and enjoy things, like no matter what it is. I mean, obviously if it's detrimental to your health, then that's not great. But for me, I mean, I'll play a lot of Xbox. I watch a lot of films. Just being able to manage I think a lot, so being able to clear my brain a bit and manage how much I'm thinking really helps me focus on the other things.
That makes total sense, man.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you would like to do but you struggle to implement in terms of your like health and fitness and well-being?
I would say consistency with my food. I go up and down a lot. I think I'm getting there. Consistency with my eating. I'm getting there. But I travel quite a bit, and I think my passion of food conflicts a lot with eating really well. So when I go away, it all goes to shit. I mean, I eat very good food, but like it's not necessarily healthy. So I think maybe finding a balance and not going crazy when I go away is probably a goal. Also, I try my best with sleep, but again, probably being more consistent with sleep. I mean, I never stay up extremely late, but just being able to go to bed at like 10:30 every single night.
10:30, mate, that's well late.
It's quite late, but like when I go to bed though, I fall asleep straight away. So
okay.
Yeah, I don't lie in bed for ages. If I go to bed, lights off.
I feel like I've got 2 sons. One of them, as soon as you turn the light off, he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
And the other one, it'll be like an hour after you've gone to sleep, and he'll come up to see what you're up to. Like he's still up reading. So I feel like that's you might have been born with that ability to just go to sleep rather than it being something you've learned. It's kind of interesting to see that.
Yeah. So I think maybe being able to consistently do that every day, I think that would probably help me quite a lot as well.
It's the big ticket items: food, exercise, relationships, sleep.
It's the simple ones,
it's the big ones.
Yeah, but it really is for me personally. That's kind of like it's the main ones. If you get them all right, then you're well on your way.
Dude, it's been amazing chatting to you. We've been meaning to do this for years, but it's cool now that you're on the coaching staff. You can be seen here on Wednesday evenings.
On Wednesday nights.
It's been great catching up with you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right, bye.